I went to law school with him. He's been a person of grievance for as long as I've known him. Resentment, grievance, anger. And he has signaled in the past to lower courts, to state legislatures, to find cases, pass laws, get them up. I may not win the first, the second, or the third time, but we're going to keep at it.
So you're saying people pay attention to
yes,
this?
The people he is speaking to, which are the, right-wing, very conservative judges and justices and state legislatures. And the thing that is, well, there's so many things about it that are deeply distressing, but women are going to die, Gail. Women will die.
Wow. All right, here to discuss is chairman of StopJoe.com and former state senator Ted Harvey and vice president of TAG Strategies and former director of press communications for Trump's 2020 campaign, Erin Perrine. All right, so some pretty harsh accusations from Hillary Clinton, Ted. What are your initial thoughts?
Well, it's Hillary Clinton, again, just trying to make news and keep her name in front of the American people. I wonder if she's still trying to run in 2024, thinking Biden's not going to. But it's nothing new. She is always trying to go after conservatives and say that they are the far extremes because they want to save babies that are being aborted right up until they are 7 pounds and being delivered. The conservatives are not the radical people in the United States. It's the leftists that are the radicals in this country, that they want to kill unborn babies and they want to sell their body parts. That's what is radical. Trying to save those kids is not radical, but to Hillary Clinton it is.
Erin, I think it's a little bit of the pot calling the kettle here, and I think it's also ironic. Maybe she's talking to the mirror. I don't know about someone being always angry and having grievances. Yeah. I mean, I thought she was talking about herself. But the overall outrage, this over-the-top reaction of women will die, I think we're also seeing a lot of this, ironically, from activists in New York City, in Los Angeles, in Philadelphia, where the law is not going to change at all. Have you noticed that most of the outrage is coming from major cities where liberals are not going to have a change to their abortion policy at all? Have you noticed any of that?
Oh, absolutely. You see time and again where there's this call for emotion and outrage and this verboseness that people are going to die. The United States already has a very high mortality rate for pregnant women, and that is with Roe as it was previously. So this is something the country has unfortunately not taken the steps to address in a more meaningful manner for women in the United States, abortion aside from that. But you see these cities, to your point, like New York, like Los Angeles, where their laws are not going to change whatsoever, and they are talking about the death of women. Here is something that the Democrats don't want to talk about. There is a death in an abortion, and it is the death of a child. That is a being intrinsic in value within itself that they do not want to have a discussion about. So while they may try to use hysterics and fear-mongering, we need to remember the reality that this is a child that should have intrinsic value and rights within itself. And what the Supreme Court did was the correct thing to say, that states, not the judicial branch, but state legislators should create law about that itself. And so the fear-mongering will continue, but it's not based in reality.
Yeah.